Welcome back, investors, to Ticker Time News. I'm Adam, and today we're talking about Bitcoin. We're going to show you our price target for Bitcoin, and we're going to show you on the charts exactly how we arrived at this price target. But first, I have just one request. Before we get into the details that you came here to see, when you find value in this content, smash the like button, tap subscribe, and join our family of investors. First off, we need to acknowledge the move Bitcoin made a week ago when Elon Musk announced Tesla was transferring $1.5 billion of cash over to Bitcoin. That caused a surge in Bitcoin's price of over 27%. You can see it right here in this blue outlined highlighted area. That was a $10,000 plus move to the upside for Bitcoin. And ever since then, Bitcoin has been forming this little funnel right here, or this symmetrical triangle, which is creating pressure for Bitcoin to pop and explode to the upside. Now, this isn't the only thing behind our thesis on our price target and where Bitcoin's going. Something else that we have to acknowledge, a big resistance for Bitcoin was $50,000. Well, guess what? Bitcoin earlier today broke through that resistance level and got up to, and you can see it right here on the chart over to the right, it got up to $50,645. Now that Bitcoin has broken that $50,000 barrier, it has nothing but blue sky ahead of it right now and absolutely no price resistance whatsoever. So let's get into some more of the details. But first, one more thing about Tesla's move that it made last week. Tesla making that move, cash to Bitcoin, it almost signals to other companies that, hey, it's okay to transfer cash from your balance sheet over to Bitcoin. Take a depreciating but stable asset and transfer it into an appreciating potential asset. That's better than the cash sitting around doing nothing. So it really does signal to other companies that, hey, it's okay. And it almost, I heard an analyst use this word, de-risk Bitcoin for other companies to transfer cash over to Bitcoin. And actually, Tasha Keeney from ARK Invest, she said it best. Here, watch this quick video, and then we're going to get back into it.
What do you make of this move, and what do you think is the main reason that Elon Musk is doing it? Is it to prepare for future transactions in the cryptocurrency? Is it to maximize returns for his cash holdings?
Yeah, a couple points that I'll make. And, this actually ties in pretty nicely with the report that we just put out, our Big Ideas report. So first, my colleague Yassine, who's our crypto expert, we've actually done quite a bit of research on this in the past. And, Tesla's not the first company to do this. We've seen this with Square. We've seen this with MicroStrategy. This using Bitcoin as corporate cash, especially if you're doing business in many different countries with many different foreign currencies, this could be instead of dealing with the complication and the risk, that treasury risk. You can instead do this with Bitcoin. So we think it makes sense, certainly from a corporate cash standpoint. And actually, we've done some analysis to say that if 1% of all the cash from the companies in the S&P 500 were to be converted into Bitcoin for corporate treasury purposes, this could actually increase the price a meaningful amount by about $40,000. So Tesla put roughly 8% of their cash into this. So that's meaningful.
That was amazing. Did you catch what she said? If all of the companies in the S&P 500 were to take 1% of their cash and move it to Bitcoin, that would raise Bitcoin's price by another $40,000. If you take 50,000 plus 40,000, you're at $90,000 pretty quickly by companies just putting 1% in. ARK Invest has done a lot of research on Bitcoin, and they also think that if the S&P 500 companies were to put 10% of their cash into Bitcoin, can you guess what Bitcoin would go up? Bitcoin would go up by $400,000. That's incredible. Imagine that. $400,000 if every company in the S&P put 10% of their cash into Bitcoin. That's amazing. And for some perspective with this 1% to 10%, that $1.5 billion of cash that Tesla transferred to Bitcoin was 8% of Tesla's cash. So that 1 to 10% number, it's not some far out there number. It's a number that's doable. Companies just have to be willing and have the guts to do it. So let's go ahead and set the stage with Bitcoin so we can get our price target out there, because you're going to love it. It's great. First off, these two black lines that you see right here, Bitcoin was consolidating during this phase, and this was the beginning of 2021 all the way until about the end of January. And it was consolidating. Every time when you see this pattern, when the lines are converging and the price gap is getting smaller between support and resistance, that's building up pressure. That's like you take water and you're running it through, say, an 8-inch pipe, right? And then you take that pipe that's 8 inches wide and you shrink it down to a 3-inch pipe. The same amount of water is going through, but the pressure has gone up dramatically because the water has less space to move through. That's the same thing that happens on the stock chart to stocks. So as it built up this pressure, then look, then it went for a run up right here, right? And then a pullback, and then a gradually uptick in this nice price channel, and then the news about Tesla, bam, 27% or over $10,000 rise in a single day. And then now look what's happening. It's starting to consolidate again. Today it tested, it broke through of that $50,000 barrier. It's consolidating right now, and the price is getting tighter. What is that going to do at the end? The same thing it did down here with these two black lines. These two blue lines are showing the same pattern. It's going to explode to the upside. So let's get into the price target and how we arrive there. Bitcoin has a 4-year cycle, and about every 4 years, we have what's called the Bitcoin halving. So every 4 years, the number of Bitcoin that come into circulation, the supply, is cut in half, and this is known as the halving. All of the Bitcoin bull markets occur around these halving events. And just to give you some context on the Bitcoin halving, you can Google it. The first Bitcoin halving in 2012 slashed the reward for mining a block from 50 Bitcoin to 25 Bitcoin. The reward for mining Bitcoin is being cut in half. Eventually, the supply that's being added to the Bitcoin market will reduce to zero at some point in the future. Continue reading on. In 2016, the halving event cut rewards again to 12.5 Bitcoin per block mined. And when the 2020 halving event occurred last year, the reward was cut to 6.25 new Bitcoin were created with each block mined. So that gives you the representation to see how the supply is getting smaller and smaller that's being added to the overall supply of Bitcoin. Let's jump back over to the chart. Now we have this black line right here. This represents the 2016 halving event. And then we have this black line right here. This represents the 2020 halving event. So you can see that the halving event occurs and then there's a bull market. The halving event occurs and then there's a bull market. So let's look at this. You can see the bull markets that are forming around these halving events. Now, with our calculations based on previous bull markets and the current price action, we see Bitcoin going to $70,000, but that won't be the peak. We could see Bitcoin going to $100,000 before peaking in this bull market. Don't believe me? Watch what we're going to do. All right, now in each bull market, as it is occurring, there are pullbacks that occur. Okay. In every one of these bull markets, there's pullbacks. Now, I'm going to measure these pullbacks so you can see what they represent, okay? This pullback right here, this was 38%, right? All right, let's measure another pullback. This pullback right here, measure from the top, measure it all the way to the bottom. This one was 31% pullback, right? Now, the average is 20 to 30%. That's what your pullbacks are going to be during the bull market run. What you typically see after a Bitcoin drop is a 150% rally from that bottom to that top. Let me show you on the chart by looking at historical bull markets so you can see this. So we're going to start here. We're going to use the 2016 halving. We're going to measure. This right here was the absolute bottom, the last pullback before the run-up. So if we measure that all the way to the top, what do we get? We get 268% move to the upside, okay? Let's go over here. Let's measure something more recently. Let's spread this out a little. All right. So if we come over here to this last dip before the leg up, and we measure to the top of this bull market right here, we get 157% run up. So the average run up is 150%. We're going to be conservative and we're going to say 150% is the average. So can we apply that to what we have right now? All right, so if this is Bitcoin's bottom and we expect it to rise 150%, then Bitcoin's price, and let's measure it from this bottom, we're going to go up to 150% because we're being conservative. 150% puts us right here at $95,000, $474. That is where Bitcoin's price is going. With all of these companies jumping in, from PayPal to Square to Tesla to MicroStrategies, all of these companies are leading the way for other companies to jump in. Another point of data that we can use to help support our hypothesis that Bitcoin is going to rise to $90,000 to $100,000, we can use Google Trends and actually look and see where we are in the bull market. We can look and see what the search volume is for anything using Google Trends. So if we plug in Bitcoin as a search term, we see this really big spike right here. This is the bull market that happened after the 2016 halving event and into 2017, and then it fell off. And if you look, it goes up to 100 points. In Google Trends, that's as far as it goes when it's measuring. Now, if we go and follow this line, we see this next rise right here. Well, this is the first week of January, okay, it got up to 53 out of 100. So if our bull market right now, according to Google Trends, is just about halfway, and we still have another 50 or 50% move to the upside, that's taking Bitcoin at $50,000 up to $100,000. So there are a lot of data points that we can use to back up our hypothesis, our thesis on Bitcoin and our price target. Now, you can also plug in Ethereum to see how Ethereum reacts, and we can do a whole nother video on how Ethereum actually outperforms Bitcoin on the second or back half of the bull market. And if you look here at the Google Trends, when Ethereum peaks its interest, it's on this back half right here on the Google Trends data set right here. So Ethereum, when it peaks right here, you can see that it's on the back half. The bull market is already coming back down for Bitcoin when Ethereum is taking off. So we can do a whole nother video on Ethereum and how it relates to Bitcoin and how Ethereum actually outperforms Bitcoin. Here's our price target for Ethereum, $6,000. Right now, Ethereum is currently, let's plug it in. Ethereum right now is at 1782. And based on the performance of Ethereum to Bitcoin and how Ethereum usually moves after the bull market is coming down for Bitcoin is when Ethereum peaks. Ethereum hasn't even gotten started with its bull market. And we can actually do this little trick in TradingView where we take Ethereum and we divide it by Bitcoin, and it'll show us how Ethereum performs compared to Bitcoin. So you can see right now it's at 4 cents. That's a level that Ethereum needs to break through before it can start its bull market run. Based off of historical data and precedent that Bitcoin has set, with price moves of 150% in bull market rallies after each halving event, it's possible, and I believe very confidently that we are going there. So if you haven't invested in Bitcoin yet, a very simple and easy way to get started is with Coinbase. I'll link a description down below. But what we are saying is after each halving event, there is a 150%, being conservative, bull market rally, and that would push Bitcoin's price to $90,000 to $100,000. Okay, I hope you found a ton of value in this video. Remember, smash the like button, tap subscribe, and join our family of investors. We're here for each other. And leave a comment down below. Are you invested in Bitcoin right now? Or are you looking to get started in investing in Bitcoin? Thank you again for watching. I appreciate it so much. And I'll see you in the next video.